What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. We have a packed video today as we discuss several stocks that we've covered in the last videos that should heat up going into June, as it is the end of Q2, plus some really cool swing ideas with news in the middle of June. So without further ado, let's hop right in. So first and foremost, let's all give INTK a round of applause for finally getting back over that O2 hump. So, it's been a brutal couple of weeks, and kind of like I said, like 015, 016, like I'm grabbing it all. But buybacks start tomorrow. So it's very exciting times ahead. The shareholder event on Wednesday. So if we come down here, as they said, here we go, June 1st. So, that's something I'm really excited about. Just wanted to touch base on that real quick. Finally that we're kind of getting out of the trenches there. Second one I want to talk about is ILUS. ILUS, or as I say ILUS, but I got corrected. As you can see, it is still churning down here, between these two MAs. But what's really cool, I'll post a tweet here. They have news coming this week, so it's really nice to see a rebound after that. All the FUD and all the bashing and so forth. That's why I always try and say I don't get involved in any of that. Like, trade your trade, do whatever you have to do, but just ignore the noise. Like, it's just unnecessary. So it's pretty cool that they have news coming forward. They're going to show their facility as well. So I just wanted to touch base on that one as well. And then the next one, CYBL. We cover this thing a million times over. Love the stock, love to long it, love to trade it, whatever it may be. But I was thinking to myself, I'm like, aren't they going to be posting revenue soon? And I'll show you something else. But, if we come back down to here, March 10th is when they actually announce, beat revenue by plan. And then we come up here to, let's see, around April 22nd, exceeds revenue and so forth. So that's coming up for May. And, at the end of May, they stated, hey, like, we're just kicking it. Like, we're having a good time. We're making money and so forth. So definitely excited to see what they have in store. Shouldn't be more than a couple of weeks. But, if we go here, we're heading at the end of Q2. So as they say, posted in Q2, the DoD rollout, the Q&A, I think it's about a week behind, but, they didn't exactly specify when it'd be out. They said they're compiling it for the Q&A. Then, the DPS strategy. Then they have the European contracts disclosure in Q2. So it's like, we're down right now, 0126. We're still kind of in market. Are we still in the market? Yeah, close. It's already close, 4 o'clock. But I think this thing's going to really heat up. So, same thing. I love this stock, love to trade it, love to long it, whatever you want to do with it. But, heading into the end of Q2, we should heat up with the revenue, with all the guidance going in Q2, with the contracts and so forth. So keep an eye on that one. And this is ZIKX. So I bought it earlier last week. I think I grabbed it around 058, 056. I saw they had a PR coming, so I was like, oh, I'll take some. And then they tweeted again, PR next week. I'm like, oh, wow. And then I looked at the share structure, and I was like, this thing is awesome. It's a 100 mil float, sitting under a penny. And, I'll post here, the last thing they pushed out was back in March, to where they did a letter of intent, to acquire, this building company and so forth. So, tomorrow's PR might be that. It might not. I'm not too sure. But, as I post here, they have another PR next week. So is the chart hot? Yeah, it's hot. You can see the RSI is over in 83, everything, nice volume. Could it keep going? Absolutely. It's a 100 mil float. Could it dip back down to these 057 range, 0057 8MA? Could as well. So, we'll see what happens tomorrow. Maybe they lead into next week's PR. But this thing has just been super fun, just super explosive. So keep an eye on it. If you can get a dip, great. If not, let's see what the PR has to offer tomorrow. That way you might say, oh, wow, maybe I will start to scale in for a dip. Second one I want to talk about is ADHC. Covered in a past video. Ran all the way to 058, 06. So it was really nice off of the 25, 28s that we were buying. And then I was like, oh, you know what? This thing has a lot going on. So, just kind of posting here. This is the PR they put out, that they hired Mr. Irwin, and he's basically going to bring in $100 million in revenue acquisitions, which is all great. They don't really have a timeline. They did put a roadmap out, but, look at their last 3 tweets here. This says, news coming. They have a e-commerce platform. I guess it might be Amazon that they're going to announce tomorrow. Plus, they have a nationwide marketing campaign getting ready to hit. So it's like, the opportunity for the swing to explode. It could happen. It could dip back down. It's a retail traded stock, so it needs the gas per se. But I think that's pretty cool. Kind of looking at that one, as you can see, same thing. Came all the way up here. It was an awesome trade. If you caught it earlier in one of the past videos, and then right down here, 8MA, it's still holding currently 0042. So it did wick down below, but I think they tweeted brought it right back up. So with tomorrow's news, depending on what it could be, if it is Amazon, it might be Walmart. I have no idea. But if it's big enough, it might send it again. We might see a nice trade out of it, but keep an eye on that one. So the next 2 that I want to discuss are mid-June swings. So definitely 2 that I'll be adding and or buying dips. And one of them, a lot of people love the company. It's a long company, it has a good shareholder base, and they have a lot going on behind the scenes. So that one is S4, which is Strikeforce Technologies. So just looking at what they've been putting out in the past few months, airing Fox Business Network, Strikeforce strengthens government relations capabilities to Anchor Consulting, Force Research, Strikeforce Safe Chat to the 25 secure communication providers. Strikeforce achieves HIPAA compliance with Compliancy Group. Awesome. And everybody's like, oh, wow, that sounds like an awesome company. It's OTCQB. I think they have about 1 mil in revs, but they do have some debt, so something to keep on as well. But, one thing that just caught my eye is this, bam, major news announcement, 614. Hello, and we're bottom. So absolutely all over it. If I can get under O2, yes. But if not, I don't mind above O2. So, looking at the chart, this thing has hit 04, 06, 07, 10 in the last year. So the fact that we're 02 with a huge announcement coming in 2 weeks, incredible. Like, I love it. Good share structure, under 1 billion. It's got 22 million market cap, and they do some really cool stuff. Cybersecurity, as far as their teleplatform and so, all that. So keep an eye on S4. I think it's going to be a great swing, heading into the next 2 weeks. It'll probably heat up more next week. I don't know what their major announcement is, if it's some sort of contract, if it's anything with the government. So that's why I love these trades, and that's why I love the OTC market. It's all about speculation. You don't know what's coming. You just basically spin to win. That's it. And then the last one I want to talk about today is one that I saw the news hit this morning. It's GTOR, and this thing just shredded. I got in a little bit late. I saw the news and I was like, wow, that's pretty big. Why isn't it moving? Then I finally started to move, and I went ahead and I just slapped some up. But, they announced a $100 million valued signed deal, today. And basically, this is going to be a metaverse, city made up and so forth. And I know metaverse is kind of played out a little bit, but this thing it's way different. This is really cool. So the company expects the majority of buyers will be entertainment, retail, or gaming businesses. Parcels can be purchased starting June 14th, so around the same time as Strikeforce. And using the world's top cryptocurrencies, and prices will start from $8,400, with the largest parcels priced at $28 million. The deal is being paid for by using the company's blank check preferred stock. By using blank check preferred stock to fund this massive purchase, the company will not dilute shareholders. So you got to love that, there's not going to be any dilution and so forth. But the weekly report for the weekend of June 4th will contain Zoom call coordinates for anyone who wishes to hear and complete the details of transaction live, for June 14th. So they do weekly updates. So if this is something you want to get in, the fact that it, ran 100% today, I'd say, if you can get around low 3, do it. It might fizzle off in the next week. But, heading back into the middle of June, if they do announce a deal with a huge company, especially with this revenue and, what they're going to put through on June 14th, it could be a really good push. So, it's another one I like. But just wanted to share those with you today. So just to do a recap, INTK, great to see it, and finally back over O2. So buybacks start they start tomorrow, but the shareholder event's on Wednesday. Stuart loves to bring out the guns. And then same thing with ILUS, ILUS. So, you know, can't beat a bottom stock with news coming. CYBL, this thing, I think it should just go. I mean, it's had a lot of downward pressure, but they do have revenue coming up. They do have all of this business update in the works. And then ADHC or ZIKX is kind of an X factor, just because speculative. You don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's coming. You know, is it hot? Yes, it is. You know, could it dip? Sure. Could it keep flying? Yeah, 100 mil float. This thing could rip over a penny, penny and a half. So let's see what the news is tomorrow, leading into the second PR next week. And ADHC, you know, this one could be a grower. You know, it could really start to accumulate and start moving its way up. You know, especially if they do announce a huge e-commerce platform. You know, they do want 100 million in acquisitions this year. They did hire, you know, a big wig to go ahead and take care of that. And then we kind of go through and look at the chart. S4, you know, it's going to be great. You can't beat nothing. It says huge announcement in 2 weeks. And then same thing. This is going to be on that same date. So we have 2 weeks. So, you know, I'll be accumulating. Same thing with GTOR. You know, I'm going to wait for a dip. Played it today. But, you know, it should consolidate. I'll have to look at, you know, where the 821 MA is and maybe even the 50. But, I mean, that's huge. You know, I think this one's really exciting. So check into all those. You know, if you have any questions, reach out to me. Drop a comment. Like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And I will talk to you guys next time.